This is Jonathan St. James, and you're listening to The Truth is Still Straight podcast. All right, folks, this is Jonathan St. James, and once again, this is The Truth is Still Straight podcast. So, full disclosure, my voice is a little bit hoarse. I was being foolish earlier, and thank you for the applause. I was being a little foolish earlier, and I was trying to sing, even though, I'm not that great of a singer, but I still tried. And so my voice is a little hoarse. Yeah. So my voice will mostly sound like this evening. And for those of you who complain, it won't be high and low pitch. I'm not even sure what that means. But I did receive a comment stating that, and he decided not to subscribe. So I'm not even sure why you would even tell me if you're not going to subscribe. This doesn't make any sense, but all right. But I guess some people suffer from emotional damage. That's okay. All right. So I got a message from Sister Millie from the West Coast. She told me that I better not boo her tonight. So, Sister Millie, this is for you. All right. That's enough booing. Well, one more time. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right. Okay, so I'm going to give a shout out. Of course, I'm very grateful to everyone who has been tuning in. I don't care if even for a minute, 2 minutes, an hour. Well, it's not an hour, it's not that long. But for those of you who've been tuning in, for how long you've been tuning in, no matter how long, I appreciate you building up the views. And those of you who subscribe, I am eternally grateful for that. So now the list is a list of people to give a shout out to is growing. So I'm going to have to figure this out probably by next week on how I'm going to be shouting people out, because it's a lot of names now. So maybe those who I'll do new subscribers. And then if you a return listener, after you just listen to a couple of times, maybe I'll just shout out all the return listeners after that. But we're going to go down this long list. Please forgive me for those of you who are tuning in for the first time. A special shout out goes to Pedro Falcone, who's always watching. Tatiana Cruz, who I hope is watching. Lee Jones, may you catch up. Tessie, I don't know what's going on with you. I try to reach out, but I haven't heard from you. But shout out to you. Sister Millie from the West Coast, who is always tuning in. I appreciate her. A big up goes to Sister Millie, because she is on it. V, and as V is my sister, just for disclosure. Mr. Wilkes, Mahir, Milton Gonzalez, who is always supporting. Beverly, Snotty, Reggie, Courtney, K-Law, who I saw checked in the other day. Thank you for showing up. RJ, Latoya, Shilia, Michael Thomas, Darrell Big G Galloway, Sam T, James Wilson, Tyrone Biggs, Terrence Meir, JD Whitelaw, Julian Flournoy, Kid Vegas 8402, Eric Jordan, Michael McCreary, Kenny Alpha, Jario, Kane Major, Kundalini Lee, Marcus A, Morris, Heath, 313 Money Team, Still Sharp and Still, Stefan, Plug 2, Chaos Angel, Thomas Ford, Tashawn Howell, Steve Stroh, Marvin Banks, Anthony Perry, Nelson Fu, Luke's Asfaf, Be Minded, TM Roland, Flavor Sweet, and Eric Jordan. Thank you for the support. And sorry if I messed up any of your names. All right, I'm trying to get into it because I know people they want to hear the Kevin Samuels. I do understand that. I appreciate those of you who have been patient with me, or for me words of encouragement, as well as enjoying the reaction videos. Once again, I have to explain that the reaction video is not a replay video. Of course, there's most likely going to be just as much me talking, if not more, because it's the point of the reaction is to take his videos, pieces of it, not the whole, and not just replay it, but to comment on it. So that's what I'm trying to do. I sent an email very early on asking Kevin to be able to make reactions to it. And he said that he would make a general announcement, and he did, that he didn't mind if it was a certain amount of clips that people would react to. So here I am honoring that, despite the fact that he's not here anymore. All right, with no further ado, I know you guys want to see the reaction, and I want to give you the reaction. So we're going to play that right now as soon as I get this sound up and my mouth closed. With that all being said, let's go to the video.
Purebred.
Hey, let me get to my light.
Wait, before I start, let me just tell you where this is from. This is from the IG Live, and it's titled "What's Wrong with Ranking?" and that's from 5/18/2021. All right.
I call her Polly Purebred. She's the sweetest person. She tries to see the best in everybody. I'm like, I'm sorry, men are visual, and we see what we see. And more men agree with me than agree with you ladies. Hello.
Hi, Kevin. How are you? So I'm
Good.
just getting home from the gym, out the shower.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
32.
So I'm asking about ranking, and what's the problem with ranking
Nothing.
women?
I think I do agree that we rank everything in life. Women, I wouldn't say that we rank. I would use a different word. I think we categorize men, which may be a type of ranking. But I mean, so when you say ranking, are you referring to you're comparing them?
Yes.
To each other, or just to your standard?
Yeah. No, see, you're 32.
Mm-hmm.
You ever been married?
No.
Any children?
Not yet.
Well, when a man asks you to go out, you decide what man you give your information to and what man you don't give your information
That's facts.
to. That's a ranking.
That's facts.
How tall are you?
5'5".
5'5". Do you care if a man is only 5'6" when you date him? That's a ranking. The pause is a ranking.
Gotta.
Yeah, see, y'all have no problem. Y'all got no problems with ranking men. If a man was working and making $15 an hour, would you marry him and be with him for the rest of your life if that's all he was gonna make? Minimum $15. $37,000 is what the median income for a male in this country was. You'd be happily married to him and submit to him for a lifetime?
If he's married to me, that's gonna change. So
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
So I'm going to stop it there real fast. I promise I'm going to be real fast. So again, she didn't answer the question the way he asked it. He asked if he would be that way the whole time they were together. And her response was like, well, if he married me, he's going to be like that. So first of all, we know that's not facts in real life, because a lot of times women marry men with the thought that they would improve or whatever, level up, whatever you want to call it. And it never happens, and they leave the guy. So
What you talking about, Willis?
Let's continue.
No. I said if he's just an average man. See, y'all all think y'all have the power. No. See, y'all all think y'all have the power of Thanos to make shit be not what it is. I said if a man was just an average earning man. See, the fact that you can't even.
I can't. You're right. I can't live off that, because
sure you can.
If anything were to happen to me, and if he would have to take care of everything, I wouldn't be able to sustain. Like, I would have to.
What do you mean you couldn't sustain? I mean, half the country's doing that.
Right. So here's the thing. You're single right now. And if something happens to you, how are you sustaining yourself? I mean, some of the people don't think these arguments through. I get what you're trying to say, that he wouldn't be able to cover you. But if you sustain something right now, who would cover you? Because you're covering yourself. So it's just interesting how these callers to Kevin Samuels, or whatever you want to call them, they like to say those things, but they don't think about the words that they say, because right now you're covering 100% of the bills. So if you get married, he would be covering something if he didn't make a lot of money. But why don't you just save his portion? Because you're already spending 100%. If he's making less, you take all his portion, save that. And then if that is enough, if something goes wrong, you'll have that to fall back on. Or move to New York, where they have this paid leave that you can pay into. And then in case of situation, you'll still get money or something like that.
I mean, like, I would have to change some things. If we were living just off his income, I would have to change a lot.
Did you go to college?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Did you graduate?
Did your mother go to college?
She didn't.
Your
Oh,
father
well,
go
she
to
did. She did
college?
do a
Did your
community.
father
Yeah,
go to college?
he has a trade.
So your mother and father didn't go to college. They made you. And it's funny that the very people who come from nothing got so high of a standard for the next group of men.
Mm,
So
I'm a
and I have no
PhD.
problem with it. I have no problem with it. I judge women just by the same standard. So basically, you're saying that a man couldn't be an average earner for you.
I'm saying that if he does, and if I really like him, then I mean, I guess anything is possible. But I don't. I've never thought about dating somebody that makes $15 an hour. Like,
Oh my.
Reasonable statement.
but
Okay,
see, if
well let's get to this. You're 5'5",
yes,
dress size.
like a 9, 8, 9.
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
Oh, I just left the gym. I'm a former gymnast, so I'm like 185,
What?
190.
So at
Wow.
5'5", 190 pounds, you weigh more than a man.
Facts.
Very possible.
So
Facts.
that means you're below average from a fitness standpoint.
Well, muscle weighs more than fat, and
Well, I'm gonna tell you that's not necessarily true because I know a lot of guys who are buff with muscles. They're not that heavy. I have a friend that is not 5'5", 5'6", and he is a fitness personal trainer, fitness guru, whatever you want to call him. This guy's has muscles upon muscles, and he doesn't weigh anywhere close to 180. So it's interesting that you say that. But I don't know if that's necessarily true because I know of people who have muscle and they don't weigh a lot. And, so usually that just means you're compounded. And when you work out, your fat turns into muscle, which is just still the weight and doesn't necessarily mean that it's gone, the unhealthy weight either. It just means you solidified it.
I don't care how. Okay, man, we can do that, but 5'5", you're supposed to be closer to 130. I don't care how you could have Kryptonian muscle fibers. It shouldn't be 200 pounds as a female. And I'm making this to prove a point because see, notice how it varies so much with women that men are supposed to accept 5'5", 200 pounds because muscle weighs more than
I said
fat.
185. You put the extra
195, it's that much.
85.
185. I'm sorry, still. But men are supposed to accept 185 like it's no big deal. But if we actually extrapolated that down to money, you should be able to accept 40,000, just like a man should accept 185. That's the way our minds work.
And I don't disagree with that, but weight is something that fluctuates. You can change that easier than usually you can change the tax bracket. So,
Well,
and I'm not saying that
and I guess the point I was ultimately getting to is, and you're right, you can change weight, and I say that often. That's why I tell women the one thing you can impact more than anything else is your weight. So
Right.
there's no excuse for a woman to weigh more than a man at her height. Simply is
Well, how many people do that? So that's the point is, weight is easier to lose than changing your tax bracket. Well, it depends on how low your tax bracket is. If your pay is so low, there's no way up, no way to go but up. If you're working at McDonald's, clearly you can get paid more than what they pay at McDonald's. So, what she's saying is technically right, but it depends where you're measuring at. So someone making 50,000 may not easily make 100,000, but if somebody's making 30,000, they could probably easier make 35 or 40 or something like that.
not. That's not how the creator made you. Females of the species in the mammalian in mammals don't weigh more than males, except in hyenas. And they're ass backwards. They also have the female hyena also has a penis, penis-looking organ that she gives birth through. Yeah, look it up.
really.
That's why when some folks associate things in our culture with hyenas because it's backwards. It's backwards. Go look at the hyena and look at how backwards a matriarchy is and how the men die sooner. Check it out. Go look and see how they give birth. But I'm talking about to the audience. But let's get on to the next phase. At 32 years old, if you had to just rank yourself, scale of 0 to 10, you can't use 7, just your natural face, your natural state.
Hmm.
Can't use 7. Where would you give yourself?
Because this is where I am right now. Literally just left the gym, got out the shower. Um, just stripped of nothing, no makeup, no nothing. Probably, I don't know, 8 maybe. I've never ranked myself, never thought about
Okay.
that, honestly.
All right.
And then we talk physically, or are we talking about everything? Like,
Just your face.
oh, physical stuff.
Mm-hmm. 8.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know. She's attractive, but if she's just talking about her face and she's not talking about her hair or I don't know. I mean, she's pretty. I can't really argue that. So I don't really have anything to comment on that. So I wouldn't take that away from somebody, but she definitely looks above average looking to me, face wise. I don't know what she looks like overall, but certainly from what I see, she looks attractive. Not too bad.
What, is that what it is?
I get.
I
I
don't.
myself, so I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
if I'm.
Well, but the funny thing is, you ladies need to rank yourself because you rank men, and we rank you. And I say, an 8 is Beyonce level, Pam Grier level. That's an 8. Kelly Rowland, Diane Carroll, 9. Dorothy Dandridge, Rihanna, that's closer to 10.
They are beautiful.
So you're saying you're in that 8 category?
I mean, you said just natural, stripped of everything out the shower.
Yes.
I think, because I look beyond the surface. So I mean,
well, no, but see, you aren't the matter, man. The matter is how men look at visual, and I'm asking that's the problem. How you ladies look at yourselves in the best case scenario, and we men look at you as it is. And you said naturally out of the shower. Is that your natural hair?
No.
Not all of it, no.
So are those your natural lashes?
No.
Well, individuals are blended.
But you have mink. Okay. And is that your natural eye color?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the 2 of the 3 aren't you. So even when you said it, I just came home out of the shower, fresh face, natural, that wasn't accurate.
Right. That's true.
This is part of the disconnect between how women tend to look at themselves. You look at yourselves in the best case scenario, and you look at other women in the best case scenario because you want to be given the benefit of the doubt. Men look at what is. And the men in this audience, if I had the comments on, they'd say, I want to see you with your natural hair. Where's your natural hair length?
Would love to see it.
I just cut off 11 inches. I just went natural. Big chop.
Where is it normally though?
I just cut off 11 inches. So normally, well, I think I have a picture. My other phone's in there, but I just cut off 11 inches.
So you have extensions in after you cut it off?
Clip-ins for the gym, like clip-in links. It's like micro links things.
So your hair was 11 inches longer? How long ago?
Yeah,
How
so
long ago?
when you, like a month and a half ago, when you do a big cut, you cut off all like relaxed stuff.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to understand is, if you cut off 11 inches a month ago.
Month and a half.
Where is it now?
Just in its natural curly state. I don't know. I haven't had it blown out, but I don't know. It's probably 5 inches left now.
Does it go past your shoulders? Does it go past your shoulders?
No, I cut off 11 inches of it. So
That's what I'm trying to understand. Does it go here?
When it's blown out, it does. Yeah, when it's blown out, it does. But when it's wet, it just curls up. So that's why it's.
All right. So you have your reasons, but to men, it's like cut off 11 inches to then clip in hair.
It's just for working. I like to give men the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Because I agree with what you said. Sometimes
you like to give men the benefit of the doubt?
I believe. Well, I can only speak for myself, not for women, because we're not a monolith. We're not all the same. So I do believe that.
Let me say something, ladies. Take that out of the conversation. That is a useless point to say we're not all the same. Obviously,
we're not.
Right. But that's a useless point. That's a filler argument. We know we're not all the same. That's something that goes without saying.
You said that women. You said that that women like to get the benefit of the doubt, and you said, but women don't like to give men the benefit of the doubt. And I'm saying that some women do. Like we all don't, you know what I mean? We all don't
I
require
never
a
said that
man
women don't
to
like to
check
give
off.
men the benefit of the doubt. You said I like to give men the benefit of the doubt, and I just said okay. But when in the income example, see, this is why I keep doing this. You like women, period. Y'all need to understand how y'all look at our money and these kind of things is how we look at your looks. And see, you're far more rigid on a man's income, but you're far more flexible on how a man should look at your looks.
Mm,
By your own estimation, you say you put yourself in the 8 category. That's pretty. That's right up there with Beyonce,
Mm.
Pam Grier. The difference is I can look at Pam Grier in her natural state in the 70s, no makeup, and she was pretty. I'm still having to look between the lashes, the extensions, and everything else that exists. And then even those two women, neither one of those women are in your body type range. They're still they still are smaller than men.
yeah.
So those two things automatically skew the number. But then when we just look at fresh face out of the shower, I would give you I would give you a 5.
I don't know about the 5. That's very average. I mean, she is pretty. I don't know if the average woman is pretty. Not to say that they're not, but I'm just saying that just seems a little harsh. I mean, 8. I mean, she can't use 7, right? So maybe a adjustable 6 that can become like a 7 or something like that. I mean, she's pretty. I don't see anything. I don't know what she looks like below the shoulders, but above the shoulders, she's pretty nice. I don't know what her hair looks like, but she looks okay. I don't like lashes, but they do look nice on her. They're not outrageous, and her eyebrows. I've seen people who done caked on their eyebrows and look horrible. So she's definitely attractive. I don't know if I would give her a 5. I mean, because he average at best lady was a 5, and this woman is definitely more attractive than the average at best woman. But yeah.
I would give you average looking, average to cute. But actually, I'll take that back. I would actually probably give you a solid 5, 6.
I
That
would
means
give
you
us.
average looking can be cute, but I
I,
wouldn't put you in the same category as Beyonce or Pam Grier. Because if that's the case, that means you guys should be able to stand in the same places and men would pick you at equal rates. And that just would not happen.
I
You
respect.
or any woman, huh?
I said no. I respect your opinion. That's how you feel.
Okay.
For
But
being
you
honest.
feel different, but you feel differently.
well, I mean, to be fair, it's kind of hard for someone to tell you you're average, and be like, yeah, I'm average, cool. I'm a 5 or 6 or something like that. I guess if a woman said that to me, I wouldn't feel good about that. It would be kind of, I mean, I already, I feel myself as average anyway, so that wouldn't bother me. But I guess something like, I don't know, something that men are proud of or something, or, you take into account when you talk about yourself and somebody basically says, well, you're okay. And you want to be more than okay. Who doesn't, I don't know what woman that just wants to be beautiful. I don't, beautiful people want to be beautiful. That's why they go out of their way to look good. They enjoy looking beautiful. So I know she takes pride in her looks. Clearly, she's, you've seen some women come on, they look like beasts in terms of not doing their hair, putting on bonnets, and just not even dress appropriate for the conversation. And then, you have women who really take care of themselves and look nice and neat on here, whatever it is, whether it's natural or makeup or hair or eyelashes, whatever, and go out of their way to look attractive, whether they say it's for men or for themselves or whatever, they're still doing it versus like just rolling out of bed and looking however you want to look. So, I mean, I guess I'm with Kevin with this. Well, I say adjustable 6. He didn't say an adjustable 6 for him is if you make yourself look nice, you fix yourself, you move up in a ranking. But whatever the ranking is, whether I'm off or Kevin's off or whatever, she's an attractive woman. I can't lie about that.
Why?
Well, according to your rankings on, I don't know if I've ever seen either of those women, stripped down the way that you described it. So I can't even, and I've never
Beyonce,
even
all you have to
thought,
do is Google it.
yeah, but
Beyonce before, no makeup. It's everywhere.
who was very beautiful. I've seen her in person. I work in media, so she's very beautiful. They all are. But I'm just saying, like, I've never put myself against that to say that. So I mean, I just have to take your word for it. If that's your
But what
opinion.
I'm saying is, ma'am, 8, 9, and 10 has to mean something. And okay, you say you've never seen them. Okay, take any woman that's a pretty, beautiful, or gorgeous, and you're saying that I'm a woman right in there with them.
If according to your standards, so this is your ranking scale. So that's why I said I
Ma'am, the
respect it.
cover of Cosmopolitan magazine, Essence magazine, most beautiful women in the world is not my standard. See, that's another
So
place that women tend to try to slide
you're
through.
right. No,
Now, I did want to stop and talk about this. I'm trying to do my best to make sure I play as much as possible without interrupting, because people have asked to watch more video in between conversation. But this is a point that always kind of bothers me when people talk about that's Eurocentric. But let's keep it real. What standards? So let's say that's true, that those are Eurocentric standards. But I haven't seen anyone living to Afrocentric standards, if we're using that terminology. No one's looking like people look in Africa. I mean, clearly she has things that, they've hair that isn't from Africa. That's not natural hair she has on. So we in America most certainly have developed a Eurocentric standard for lifestyle. The clothes we wear, the shoes and things like that. Most people Manolo Blanc, stuff like that. Madden, Aldo's, Gucci, stuff like that. Those are from Eurocentric fashion styles. I mean, that's what we do in the world. We follow the European culture. And I don't know what the Afrocentric standard would be of weight and size. Who knows that? People use that claim, but no one specifies what that actually is. So what can that be? And I think a lot of people use that to say, well, it's wrong that that's for white people. That's a white person standard, but that's the world that we live in. We live in where we follow European culture, whether it's France, England, those are the main influences in the world. And I would say the major influence in the world is probably France and America. So not necessarily Eurocentric. If you're following white people's standard in America, I don't know if that's Eurocentric where people use that, because there are a lot of women that are out of shape in the UK compared to, I would say, France maybe. And not everyone is looking beautiful in Britain, in England or London or the UK. There are a lot of average looking women out there. So I don't know if you can say that's necessarily the standard. This mostly comes from weight that people say, but there's plenty of overweight women there that by the European or Eurocentric model, that, as you claim, they are out of shape and overweight and so forth, being the same size as these women. So I don't know where they go. And does that mean thin women are sick by Afrocentric standards? It's just a term that people throw out. It kind of disturbs me.
you're right. You're right. I agree. It's not your standard. It's probably more European standard.
It's not a European. I'm talking about Black women. That's bullshit. I'm gonna stop right here, man. I gotta say this. I have not named one white woman, and every time we start talking about standards, Black people in particular, black folks in particular, Black women in general, always want to go to European. We rank Black women based upon your best selves.
And I'm glad you said that. That's a good point. The reason why I said that is because we in America, and especially working in media, even if you are a Black woman, the closer you have to European features, the more classified.
You got a problem with that? So let's just take your argument.
No,
you have a problem with it?
Do I have a problem with them?
Do you have a problem with that?
Let me make sure I understand your question. Your question is, do I have a problem that society and the entertainment industry equates being more beautiful, even as an African American woman, to having more European features? Do I have an issue with that?
The way you frame that, yes. Do you have a problem with the question as you just stated it?
So here's my issue with that. My issue with that is
It's
that
a yes or no. Before you give me the long answer, I just need to know yes or no. You put out the premise. I'm asking, do you have a problem with that premise?
because it's typically Europeans that
Yes or
give
no?
what they think is beautiful. That's their standard of
Yes
beauty.
or no?
For
You laid the
me, as a
premise out.
woman, not my standard of beauty.
Yes
But
or no? You laid out.
Oh, no, he didn't. Miss Patience?
So here's the thing there. She's not answering the question. And if I had to say that it's hard for her to say that she disagreed with that, even though she most likely does, because she does probably have a real reason. She probably doesn't have a real reason why she disagrees with him. But we know people like what they like. And it may seem like light-skinned people get a pass, and maybe they do in Hollywood, and then that's all society sees. And maybe that's why people are interested in light-skinned people. If that's the role that we going with, I don't know how accurate that is, because I've never heard men that I know say, oh, they only like light-skinned women or lighter-skinned women. The only thing I know, most men that I know like women in shape. That for sure, with nice bodies and a nice face. I haven't heard anyone say they have to be white or light skin or something like that. Men just like attractive women and whatever they and other things, of course, but that's the first and foremost, attractiveness, and then getting along, being agreeable, as how they like to say it.
The premise, yes or no? Yes, I have a problem with the premise I just laid out. No, I don't have a problem with the premise I just laid out.
I have a problem with that being perpetuated.
Yes, I have a problem with the premise. No, I don't have a problem with the premise.
Under certain.
Yes, I do. No, I don't.
Within certain context,
yes, I do. No, I don't.
Within the certain context,
I do. This is the problem. This is the problem, because even when I allow you guys to lay out the premise and give it all on this European standard, you still want wiggle room. Since you have a problem,
I want to say is wiggle room.
How about this? If there's a problem with the European standard of beauty that's put on Black women, such and so forth, take the extensions. Take the extensions. Wear your hair in its natural state and take the extensions out of your hair.
And I do that
all the time.
Here's why.
All the time. That's what the women in.
Got him.
Yeah, true that.
The 70s did.
Here's why I said within context. I said within context because it's coming from people that are European, so they're saying that they believe that their type is beautiful.
No, I don't buy that bullshit argument, man. I don't buy that bullshit argument. I don't buy that bullshit argument. I allowed you to make it, but I'm not going to. Nope. I'm not going to perpetuate that on my channel. Nope, I'm not going to.
How dare you?
Now, here's where I got to chime in. I'm sorry, people. How do you know that? I don't listen to any European people, so I can't tell you what European people find attractive and what their standards are of beauty. I've never listened to a European person in my life. I don't know what country he's talking about, but I have no connection to Europe in terms of what they say and what they do from over there. So it's really bizarre that she used that and can't really offer who said that. Did the Queen of England say that? Did a prime minister or a president of a European country say that? Who is saying this? What country is saying that this is what beauty is, white, and then everything else has to follow behind that? I don't know who's saying that. As if there's no white people in France or Black people in France or Black people in England that are beautiful. So I'm not sure who says that. And I'm not saying that people don't believe that. Don't get me wrong. I've been places where people's like, you light skin, so that means something. That means you're prestigious. And I've been in a situation like that where I'll give a perfect example. I was at a celebration at a Haitian restaurant, and I'm not Haitian. So the caterers, the people in the restaurant where we were at the party, they needed to talk to someone, and I wasn't even at the end of the table. I was like a few people in, and they walked over right to me as if I was the person in charge, and I was the lightest person at the table. So they came to me with the assumption that this light-skinned guy was the one with all the money, but I wasn't paying for anything. I was just a guest.
Perpetuate that on my channel. I'm not going to even I allowed the premise for you to make it, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with you. Ma'am, I am comparing you to black women. From black women in the
I know, but your question
90s,
about you.
ma'am, black women in the 70s. I want you to look at your black women in your family, in your family album.
Mhm.
And I want you to go back and find women who are 5'5", almost 200 pounds, 80 years ago.
Mm.
Go on Soul Train, where it was nothing but black women, and they were dress size 4, not dress size 14.
I'm not gonna be a 4, and I'm not a 14. I'm a
Well, and you're not, and there are no, and it is not your normal state as a female to weigh as much as a man. See, women in general, black women in
oh,
particular, have a
I honestly
problem with
agree.
reality.
I'm in the gym.
You have
I'm
a
getting all
problem with reality.
those Corona calories.
It's not corona calories, it's lack of discipline.
No. Well, is that too? But being in the house, I definitely gained 25 pounds over COVID.
Right. So she skated over the fact that they say you chose to gain the weight. That's absolutely true. Because I know people during COVID, they lost weight. And that's because they chose not to do the thing they did that kept their weight up. So, and I've seen women who lost a lot of weight that was on the big side before and they're nice and slim now. Now, I'm going to be honest. I like many women that have the weight than when they lose the weight. Now, it's specific to the person, not necessarily in general, but I've seen some women that they like Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson lost some weight, but she ended up losing more weight, and then she got really thin, and she looked really odd to me, her head versus her body. So that was a thing that I was like, well, I felt like she got a little too thin, but
You didn't have to eat that. You could have ate different. You knew what it was.
No, that's what you're right. It's
So that ain't got nothing to
I'm
do with a
paying the
European. That has nothing to do with a European standard or nothing. See, the reason I push back so
talking
hard
about
about this,
feet.
the reason I push back so hard about this, ma'am, is that's bullshit. Black women used to be a standard of beauty.
Still is to
Well,
me.
then if that's the case, stop complaining about a European standard just because you
Got him.
need to lose weight and look like your normal
It was.
selves.
You're right, but it was in the context of your question. That's why I said
No,
that.
it wasn't in the context of my question. You injected that point to try to make a tangent. We weren't talking about white people. And
Because
back on
you
subject.
pulled out mag and
We're
that's
not
that
we're
you're
not going down that
pulling.
path anymore. Let's stop. Put a period there. We're not doing the
You're
European
in this.
thing. We're not doing the European thing anymore.
I think you're in this.
We're not doing the European thing anymore. Bottom line is I'm comparing you against black women.
he did.
Black
Right,
women.
but that's in the ranking that you're using in the size and the charts. That's based off who created those ratios and says this
The
is
BMI?
the
The
no.
BMI?
Listen,
Ma'am,
you said
okay, you want to
I'm
know, I'll tell you. Oh, no, ma'am. You want to know, I will tell you. You can't go to the continent and see women who are 200 pounds. Not consistently. This is what I mean. A problem with reality. Okay.
15-pound difference from
And what I need you guys to understand is this is how far women will go. Black women will go to substantiate their lack of being competitive.
No,
It's a European standard. It's the white man. It's who gave us this. Black men want to see black men want to see black women fit, feminine,
And
friendly,
friendly.
their own natural hair and childless.
You said the world's most beautiful woman, then you gave the magazine and the rankings and the people. I'm saying that
I gave you an example of where you would see beautiful women. I didn't say that.
Are beautiful.
So I think with the misconception of what he's saying is, I think a lot of people think just because these people that Kevin has brought up means that he's using a Eurocentric model. But I think the mistake that people don't understand is he's using examples. He's using examples, or rather, I was trying to say he identifies people that we see. It's kind of hard to give a name of a person and then you may not know who that person is. That's why he's trying to give a famous people that are easily recognized by someone who hears the name. Beyonce is very recognizable. Pam Grier, maybe not to young people, but Kelly Rowland is somewhat recognizable. Rihanna is someone you should know. Everybody should know who Rihanna is. She's one of the richest women entertainers in the universe. So when you're talking about these people, yeah, maybe you feel like it's a Eurocentric standard, but he's telling you people not because they're light skinned, but these are identical people who are attractive or beautiful. So that's what he's trying to use, examples that are readily available if you needed to look them up. You know, it's kind of hard. Lupita Nyong'o, she's very beautiful. Denai Guerra, I forget how to pronounce her last name, but from The Walking Dead, who played Michonne, she's a very attractive dark-skinned woman, has short hair sometimes. I don't think I've seen it without short hair. Lupita Nyong'o, she's dark-skinned and very attractive, very beautiful. So it's not to say that no one thinks that, you know, everybody light-skinned is more beautiful than anyone dark-skinned. But unfortunately, Hollywood tends to have more of those. And I don't know if it's because dark-skinned women are just not getting enough roles. I don't know what the situation is. I'm not in Hollywood, so I can't identify that. But this lady sort of wanted to use every excuse not to agree with what he was saying.
Beautiful. All right.
Well, no matter how you see, you're caught in your own logic loop. No matter how you slice it, you're not up there with those women.
And I'm not.
I mean, we can bounce it all around. You said you are, you're not.
According to your standards.
Okay, according to your standard, you are.
I said according. I said I'm not ranking me. You said
no. I'm asking you. I asked you where you rank. You said you give yourself an 8, and I said so. You put yourself up there with Beyonce and Pam Grier. It'll all be on tape for replay. You can hear it yourself. No, you said yes.
That's fine, and that's fine. I said yeah. I mean, if I said I give me an 8, you said well I think that they're 8s, and you're not an 8. I give you a 6, and I said okay.
No. I said what I gave you later on. I know exactly what I said.
Yes.
So what would you give yourself then? So since you want to play word game thing, what would you put yourself?
No, I'm not playing word.
No. Let's be clear though. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. If I say Pam Grier and Beyonce are an 8, what would you rank yourself in relation to them?
Well, based off of your standards, if they're 8 to you and you say you're not up there with them, then I would say
no. I didn't ask you anything about me. I said what would you rank yourself if that's where they are?
I'm never gonna like you at my natural state. I'm never gonna say anything. I'm not gonna change my number. I'm gonna still say what I say.
Exactly. And there we go, people. There we go. There we go, people.
Bye, Kevin.
Oh my.
So I just said, did you hear that? She hung up on him. That's what she did. Definitely hung up on him.
How dare you?
Mm-hmm. Wow, I didn't even notice that. I mean, I sort of browsed through this for the time, and I just got to the end and knew it kind of finished around there. But apparently she hung up on him. She didn't like what he had to say to her. And so she was gonna goodbye, Kevin, and hung up on him. That was interesting. I'm not playing it any further to see if he knew that she did or not, but she definitely ended that conversation, got frustrated at the end. And I think a lot of times with these situations is they don't discuss with him the clarity of what he's saying. And I don't think he has a problem with breaking it down if you want to know where he's coming from. And if you watch enough of these shows, you know that Kevin has never really just pointed out these women because they were light skinned. He showed because these are easily, I can say this person, Beyonce. Kelly Rowland is not that light skinned. I mean, she's brown skinned. I mean, she's not dark like Lupita Nyong'o. I think that's his saying name. Please, let me know if I'm saying it wrong. She's the very darkest skin, but she's beautiful just the same. So I think there's just a disconnect on the way he's ranking people, and he's ranking them to identify attractiveness. And they happen to be more fair skinned than, I don't know, whoever's out there. Because I don't easily recognize darker skinned people. Like, for example, before she got into trouble, Lauryn Hill, extremely beautiful, but she wasn't Eurocentric standard living. So it goes to show you, people just, they just feel how they feel. And it's kind of hard once you start getting to someone's feeling to say anything different. But anyway, it's about that time for the braces. Relationship braces. Bringing hearts together, one heart at a time. 32-year-old woman who went into Sass cabin and argue about the Eurocentric standards. What could I possibly tell you that will get you to see what his point is and not object to the ranking? Well, here's the deal. So, all right, there is a rank, and maybe there is a Eurocentric rank. I don't have the proofs about that. But the one thing I do understand is whether you want to agree or not, we all follow the Eurocentric standards for almost everything. Why do people drive Mercedes-Benz or Porsche or Jaguar or Audi? Those are all part of Eurocentric aspects of living. That's what white people had before we had it. Mercedes, BMW, Bentleys, Rolls Royce, all these things of luxury that white people have had, we have the ability to have as well. And most people want them. Most people want Versace, Gucci, Prada, those things. So if you know the people in general want the things that are Eurocentric, how hard is it to say that society is Eurocentric because we enjoy the things that those cultures provided us in society? It just doesn't make any sense. Well, if she can understand that and sort of get off of that, and like I said, she was an attractive woman, continue to do what you do. Look for the right people. They're out there. You just got to sit down and talk and work it out. You'll be okay. I believe she'll be okay. She seemed pleasant enough. I'm not sure. Hopefully there's nothing worse than that. But I give her a good shot of finding somebody if she sits down and gives the social cues that she's interested and builds towards the future. And those are the braces. All right, folks, it's the end of the show now. A little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I thank you all once again that tuned in. Until next time, this is Jonathan St. James, and this is our show. I am out.